AMD CrossFireX is a brand name for the multi-GPU solution by Advanced Micro Devices, originally developed by ATI Technologies. The technology allows up to 4 GPUs to be used in a single computer to improve graphics performance. Associated technology used in mobile computers with external graphics cards, such as in laptops or notebooks, is called AMD Hybrid Graphics. Configurations. First generation CrossFire was first made available to the public on September 27, 2005. The system required a CrossFire-compliant motherboard with a pair of ATI Radeon PCI Express graphics cards. Radeon X800S, X850S, X1800S and X1900S came in a regular edition, and a CrossFire edition, which has master capability built into the hardware. Master capability is a term used for 5 extra image compositing chips, which combine the output of both cards. One had to buy a master card, and pair it with a regular card from the same series. The master card shipped with a proprietary DVI-Y dongle, which plugged into the primary DVI ports on both cards, and into the monitor cable. This dongle serves as the main link between both cards, sending incomplete images between them, and complete images to the monitor. Low-end Radeon X1300 and X1600 cards have no CrossFire edition, but are enabled via software, with communication forwarded via the standard PCI Express slots on the motherboard. ATI currently has not created the infrastructure to allow FireGL cards to be set up in a CrossFire configuration. The slave graphics card needed to be from the same family as the master. An example of a limitation in regard to a master card configuration would be the first-generation CrossFire implementation in the Radeon X850 XT master card. Because it used a compositing chip from Silicon Image, the maximum resolution on an X850 CrossFire setup was limited to 1600A, 1200 at 60 Hz, or 1920A, 1440 at 52 Hz. This was considered a problem for CRT owners wishing to use CrossFire to play games at high resolutions, or owners of widescreen LCD monitors. As many people found a 60 Hz refresh rate with a CRT to strain one's eyes, the practical resolution limit became 1280A, 1024, which did not push CrossFire enough to justify the cost. The next generation of CrossFire, as employed by the X1800 master cards, used 2 sets of compositing chips and a custom double-density dual-link DVI-Y dongle to double the bandwidth between cards, raising the maximum resolution and refresh rate to far higher levels. Second generation when used with ATI's CrossFireX PRESS 3200 motherboard chipset, the master card is no longer required for every CrossFire-ready card. With the CrossFireX PRESS 3200, 2 normal cards can be run in a CrossFire setup, using the PCI Express bus for communications. This is similar to X1300 CrossFire, which also uses PCI Express, except that the XPRESS 3200 had been built for low latency and high-speed communication between graphics cards. While performance was impacted, this move was viewed as an overall improvement in market strategy, because CrossFire master cards were expensive, in high demand, and largely unavailable at the retail level. Although the CrossFireX PRESS 3200 chipset is indeed capable of CrossFire through the PCI Express bus for every Radeon series below the X1900S, the driver accommodations for this CrossFire method have not yet materialized for the X1800 series. ATI has said that future revisions of the Catalyst drivers suite will contain what is required for X1800 dongle-less CrossFire, but has not yet mentioned a specific date. Third generation With the release of the Radeon X1950 Pro, ATI has completely revised CrossFire's connection infrastructure to further eliminate the need for past Y dongle master card and slave card configurations for CrossFire to operate. ATI's CrossFire connector is now a ribbon-like connector attached to the top of each graphics adapter, similar to NVIDIA's SLI bridges, but different in physical and logical natures. As such, master cards no longer exist, and are not required for maximum performance. 2 dongles can be used per card. These were put to full use with the release of CrossFireX. Radeon HD 2900 and HD 3000 series cards use the same ribbon connectors, but the HD 3800 series of cards only require one ribbon connector, to facilitate CrossFireX. Unlike older series of Radeon cards, different HD 3800 series cards can be combined in Crossfire, each with separate clock control. Since the release of the codenamed Spider desktop platform from AMD on November 19, 2007, the Crossfire setup has been updated with support for a maximum of 4 video cards with the 790FX chipset. The Crossfire branding was then changed to ATI CrossFireX. The setup, which, according to internal testing by AMD, will bring at least 3.2x performance increase in several games and applications which required massive graphics capabilities of the computer system, is targeted to the enthusiast market. A later development to the Crossfire infrastructure includes a dual GPU solution with onboard PCI Express bridge that was released in early 2008, the Radeon HD 3870X2 and later in Radeon HD 4870X2 graphics cards, featuring only one Crossfire connector for dual-card, for GPU scalability. An earlier CrossFireX and chipset compatibility chart is shown here. The latest compatibility chart, as of March 2012, shows 890 Armenian drams, 990 and A75 chipsets a Euro, and many Intel chipsets including Z68 and X79 chipsets a Euro as being compatible with CrossFireX. It also shows which GPU cards may be paired with an external bridge. Current generation equals. The Radeon R9-285, R9-290 and R9-290X graphics cards no longer have bridging ports. Instead, they use XDMA to open a direct channel of communication between the multiple GPUs in a system, operating over the same PCI Express bus which is used by AMD Radeon graphics cards. PCI Express 3.0 lanes provide up to 17.5 times higher bandwidth when compared to current external bridges, rendering the use of a Crossfire bridge unnecessary. Thus, XDMA was selected as the solution for greater GPU interconnection bandwidth demands generated by AMD Infinity, and more recently by 4K resolution monitors. Bandwidth of the data channel opened by XDMA is fully dynamic, scaling itself together with the demands of the game being played, as well as adapting to advanced user settings such as vertical synchronization. Additionally, some newer cards are capable of pairing with 7000 series cards based on the graphics core Next 1.0 Southern Islands architecture. For example, an A9-280X card can be used in a CrossFireX setup together with HD 7970 card. Hybrid CrossFireX. There is also a AMD Hybrid mode of CrossFireX that combines onboard graphics using the AMD Northbridge architecture with select graphic cards, for increased performance. The current generation is called Hybrid CrossFireX and is available for motherboards with integrated AMD chipsets in the 7 and 8 series IGPs, referred to as Hybrid CrossFireX. This combination results in power savings when simple or 2D graphics are used and performance increases of 25% to over 200% in 3D graphics over using a non-Crossfire option. As of March 2012, it appears that this is now called AMD Radeon Dual Graphics, and means using A-series Fusion APUs together with video cards. Comparisons to NVIDIA SLI. Similarities equals. In some cases Crossfire doesn't improve 3D performance a Euro, and some extreme cases, it can lower the frame rate due to the particulars of an application's coding. This is also true for NVIDIA's SLI, as the problem is inherent in multi-GPU systems. This is often witnessed when running an application at low resolutions. When using Crossfire with AFR, the subjective framerate can often be lower than the framerate reported by benchmarking applications, and may even be poorer than the framerate of his single GPU equivalent. This phenomenon is known as micro-stuttering and also applies to SLI since it is inherent to multi-GPU configurations. Advantages Crossfire can be implemented with varying GPU cards of the same generation. This allows buyers who have varying budgets over time to purchase different cards and still get the benefits of increased performance. With the latest generation cards, they will only crossfire with other cards in their sub-series. For example, GPU in the same series can be cross-fired with each other. So a 5800 series GPU can run together with another 5800 series GPU. However, GPUs not in the same 100 series cannot be cross-fired successfully. The only exception is that the HD 7870 XT cards can be used with HD 7900 series GPU in a crossfire configuration because they feature the same GPU. ATI CrossFire configurations can run many monitors of varying size and resolution, while SLI only allows 3 monitors. The exception being NVIDIA Surround, which enables connection of up to 4 2D displays and 3 3D displays, although all displays must be the same resolution for this to work. Disadvantages The first-generation Crossfire implementations require an external Y-cable dongle to operate in Crossfire mode due to the PCI Express bus not being able to provide enough bandwidth to run Crossfire without losing a significant amount of performance. Crossfire works only in full-screen mode and not in windowed mode. See also: Scalable link interface, multi-chrome, comparison of ATI chipsets, comparison of AMD chipsets, micro-stuttering, hybrid CrossFireX. References. External links, official website, howdoc.com's Crossfire preview, /. Coverage on the release of the system.